talk about this Mafia 3 trailer that just dropped. Apparently, it's a new story trailer, and I was starting to get a little bit worried. I don't know if anybody else was, but because it was not really giving us any information other than the trailer we saw in August, really, and a little bit of the gameplay. So, right off the bat, this is actually a pretty fucking interesting trailer, right? Son of a Preacher Man kind of playing in the background. I gotta admit that it really did kind of sync very well with the theme that they kind of tell, right? Now, the big vibes that I'm kind of getting with this thing is obviously a big, 1970s black exploitation thing. Now, what I really want this trailer, or what I really got interested in for this trailer, was that they actually are showcasing or saying to the truth to the word with the racism and segregation kind of going around this time. Particularly, you saw the black guy kind of being stopped by the police, so I thought that was actually really cool. Now, the 70s background music, Son of a Preacher Man playing, definitely sounded fucking fantastic. As I just mentioned, Lincoln Clay seems like the type of dude that you don't want to fucking like look behind you and see, because you just see that stare, and especially in the game, he looked like a very determined guy. Now, the thing about the post-traumatic stress, I really hope that kind of plays a part in Lincoln Clay's struggle, whatever it may be. But I really hope it actually does kind of play a part, because there's a lot of stuff with the NOM setting that really can make this shit kind of a game that wasn't really on your radar, right? But definitely kind of just goes up a notch. Because even though Uncharted obviously is probably the most anticipated game right now, I gotta admit that this is probably the next big thing for me personally, even more than like Gears or whatever may be coming out. Now, for Lincoln Clay himself, I'm glad that we are finally kind of getting a bit of a breath of fresh air from a black protagonist, but we're also getting one that's not necessarily just like a drug dealer or a gangster. Now, granted, he is trying to be one for the most part, but this is pretty much just a straight up revenge thing, and I'm really kind of digging this vibe that we're kind of getting. Now, he got shot in the head apparently from what it looks like inside of the trailer, so maybe that military cut, it looked like it has a bit of a scar in the back of his head, right? And maybe that's because they kind of like took the bullet out, and maybe the hair can't grow, whatever it may be. It definitely looks like a pretty cool, badass thing, and fuck, I want that type of jacket. But it definitely looks fun. What I hope they kind of get out of this the game, pretty much, I don't know if you saw in the gameplay, but they kind of had like the slick moving cars to the point where it looked like they were on fucking oil or whatever it may be. I really hope that's not necessary in there. And now the cars look fantastic. The muscle cars, I really like that. What I want personally is that this guy, or what I was getting from this thing, is that I really wanted to fucking like watch like American Gangster right after watching this shit, because it just emphasized that time, because we don't get black gangsters really. We get black thugs, holding it sideways, but we don't really get black, mafia type guys. Even though this is not necessarily the mafia that people wanted, this is obviously something different. I think Hangar 13 actually is going to do a pretty good job. Now, the thing I kind of got from this trailer personally was that there was no Vito, right? There was no Vito whatsoever in this trailer. So, therefore, I'm wondering, what if there was a choice, right? Because they said there's choice in the game. What if Vito turns on your ass, and then they give you the choice to either let Vito go or to kill him? What would you do? Would you literally kill Vito, the character that you people love so much that you wanted to see his story kind of return? Would you do it? Probably not, but either way, it probably would add a very interesting dynamic to kind of the thing. It's almost like the developer will be like telling somebody, either you can walk past Mafia 2 or you can accept this new hero, Lincoln Clay. But everybody else that was in the first trailer is pretty much in here except Vito, so I thought that was interesting. So what kind of part does he play into this? Now, is Joe going to be in here? Who knows? Who knows? Is he going to be his father? I don't know. I think the reason why they turned on Lincoln Clay, or why they killed him pretty much, was mainly because, I think, obviously because he's half white or whatever, but I'm assuming because at that time, a lot of, Italian mobsters, whatever it may be, they kind of slept around a lot, and they probably had, a baby or two by a black woman or a Hispanic woman, whatever it may be. And granted, if they were part of that mafia vibe or that mafia family, they would have to pretty much be outcasted. So if they kind of take advantage of that in the story, that could actually be very cool. Now, some black exploitation films, if you actually know them, whatever it may be, that could get you kind of like into this movie. If you ever seen the movie Black Caesar with Fred Williamson, badass fucking movie. James Brown, to live in the New York City, Down and Out New York City, fantastic song. They should definitely play that here, even though it's not New York, whatever. And also, Hell Up in Harlem is a fantastic song, movie. I'm fucking up right now. But either way, I'm very excited for this trailer. I thought this was actually pretty cool. Lincoln Clay looking like the fucking Punisher, John Bernthal shit, fucking taking people out, slicing them, whacking people with fucking shotguns. This guy looked like he's determined. Now, even though he looked like he's not necessarily humorless, he looked like he has a little bit of dry humor for the most part, and it definitely kind of gives us that big Punisher vibe. So, if anybody wants to be the Punisher, congratulations, you're going to get a fantastic game. But overall, I'm not missing the suits. I'm not missing, the Paulie and the Martys or whatever the fuck you want to call these Italian names. the generic Italian names. I'm not missing that vibe per se because I get what they're trying to go for. This is a straight up like 1970s throwback, like a Dirty Harry or like a 70s action film. That's what this feels like, and this feels fucking awesome. That's all I can really say. Now, granted, is is a gangster thing vibe missing? Sure, I guess, but this is something new. Sometimes you have to adapt, and I'm glad it's a black character. We don't get many of those. But yeah, the setting is definitely refreshing. Other than like New York or LA, New Orleans is definitely something, something cool to see. And I have a question for you people. What song would you like this shit to kind of end to? Would you like, like a Jimi Hendrix to kind of like end this thing with the final end credit song? Would you like Son of a Preacher Man? Would you like Painted Black by the Rolling Stones? What song would you think would be the best to kind of end Lincoln Clay's journey once he kind of like takes down the mob? Because I think it actually would be quite cool to see any one of those songs. Down and Out in New York City is pretty cool also. But who knows, quite frankly. But that is my thoughts, quite frankly, on Mafia 3's trail. So let me know what you thought. What song would you actually like to be played? And did you actually enjoy anything that kind of said in this shit whatsoever? If you did, comment, subscribe, and like. Or just comment and let me know what you thought of the trailer. But that's my reaction / review. Signing out.